It's Wednesday. It's 5 Minute Rehab Day. Come on in, come on in. This is Taisha Presley, the owner and the founder of Legacy Empowerment Services. We are a mental health private practice. We're located in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we work with adolescents and young adults who have experienced some type of dysfunction and want to rehabilitate their lives. So it's story time. I got a story time for you. So when my son was about 2 years old, maybe about 3, we had to get him a speech evaluation because he was speech delayed. And so we took him to early intervention services with our city. And a part of that process in getting him approved for services required a psychological evaluation. And so my son, because he was speech delayed, he couldn't do a traditional evaluation. He had to do a play-based psychological evaluation. And so in the evaluation, there were like maybe 3 or 4 different people that served different functions. One was a psychologist, one was a speech therapist, and maybe a counselor or something like that. And so in the middle of the evaluation, what they do is they just set up a playroom and they just have the child playing. And my son, I was kind of there. I was there too. We were there too. And I was watching my son just play and just kind of reenact his life. And so in this reenactment, he got a doll baby and he did something that was really strange to me. He started spanking the doll baby. And I was like, oh my goodness. And the psychologist, the therapist, speech therapist, they're all there and they're all looking at me like, we know what you're doing at home, because kids reenact what they experience in their homes. And so my child at 2 years old was, even though he couldn't talk, in his play, he was reacting what was happening at home. What was happening at home was when I got really frustrated at him, when I didn't know what else to do, I would do what I knew to do, which was to escalate and to spank. Because not necessarily that I got spankings, because I never did, because I was perfect. So not necessarily because I got spankings myself, but it's because it was for me the easiest thing I knew to do to get him to do what I needed him to do. Now, why do I share all of this? I share all of this as a way to connect, number one, and to normalize the fact that I get that parenting can be really, really challenging. It can be hard as I don't know what. Parenting can be so challenging that you lose your cool, you lose your focus, sometimes you lose your sanity, and you just go slap off. What I learned in that interaction with my own son at just 2 years old is that I am passing down values. I am passing down heritage. I'm passing down legacy to my child by how I engage with him, by how I discipline him, by how I parent him. And yes, sometimes I got super frustrated, and I did not know what to do. But in that moment when my child picked up a doll baby and started spanking the doll baby, I recognized something that was really important, is that I did not value my child, because who spanks a doll baby? Who learns at 2 to spank? Who learns at 2 to yell? But that's what I'm doing. And so that's what I did at 2 years old, that early. And so I say that to say that dysfunction, toxicity, it doesn't start when you're an adult. It starts at those early ages, when they're 2, when they're 3, when there's 10. It starts early. It starts because parents model how to be. Parents model how a child is supposed to get their needs met. That is the role of a parent, to create safety in the home. And safety is not just physical. Safety is emotional. Safety is mental. Safety is spiritual. Safety can be many, many things. But the role of a parent is to create that safety for their child so that their child can be seen, heard, valued, respected, appreciated. We get to model that for our kids. And the number one way that we can do that for our kids is by how we discipline them, how we show them how to get their needs met, which is how we get our needs met. And so I wanted to just drop that here today to say that kids, I don't care what age they are, they can be young kids, they can be middle-aged kids, they can be old kids. but all kids deserve respect. All kids deserve to be valued. All kids deserve to be heard, appreciated, be created safety, and have boundaries within their relationships with their parents, because parents are the first teachers. And so I encourage you to learn to parent beyond your understanding. And so that could mean relearning how you yourself was parented. And that could mean trying to implement some skills that may seem new age or new school is what they call it, right? But that is the way that we break cycles. That is the way that we establish a new legacy, a new way of being. And so my encouragement to you is to extend and parent beyond what you yourself was parented. And you may say, I came out fine, because in our culture, there is this saying that, kids are supposed to be seen and not heard, all that stuff. And I get it. That is the way that we were raised. I get it. But there is a better way. And I encourage you to find that way. If you need some support, I am here, 704-916-9318. And I'll see you next week.